Whenever you guys are ready.
Hello, I'm Will Graff.
I'm Martin Lawson.
I'm Emma Marcos.
And I'm Ryan Gergel.
We are BC Aquatics. Now, in 2016, 150,000 students dropped from their swim team. You might be wondering, why would they drop from their swim team? Let me paint a picture for you. So, you're sleeping, and your alarm goes off. You wake up, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You smack it, you get dressed, you start driving to school, you look around, and it's in Barrington, and there's no traffic, and so you know it's bad when there's no traffic in Barrington. And so you're going, you get to the school, you go to the swim room, you get on your Speedo, and you dip your toe in the water, and it's freezing. You go swimming, and you're just bored out of your mind. You're thinking about crazy stuff like what Matt Damon has been doing recently, and like whether Robert De Niro is married. And so you might be wondering, what can we do to make this poor sap's life any better?
To solve this, we have created a product that combines wireless earbuds with the power of bone conduction technology to create a pair of headphones that allows not only competitive but also casual swimmers to listen to music underwater.
Now, you might be wondering, what is bone conduction? Bone conduction was actually discovered by Beethoven when he was partially deaf. He put a rod on his piano, and while he was playing it, he could hear it through the vibrations in his jaw. His brain interpreted that as normal sounds. And so as technology has increased, the military and tech companies have been using this to their advantage, and now it is to the point where it's as good as regular headphones.
We want our product to connect directly to the user's phone. However, due to water frequency, Bluetooth cannot work underwater. That is why we will be using Wi-Fi to connect to their phone. This type of connectivity allows the user to not only listen to music, but also radios, podcasts, and much more. The design will be a comfortable, over-the-ear design so it does not fall off when swimming. It will be made of waterproof IPX8 material. From our problem interviews, we also learned that athletes would also be interested in this when they work out, which is why it'll be able to be used both in and out of water. To start off with our competitors, Becker underwater is big, clunky, and overall not comfortable when swimming. From Fitness Duo's reviews, we discovered that it has bad connectivity, and it also gets really dirty, which could ultimately lead to it breaking. Our indirect competitor, Swim Buds, uses actual earbuds that fall off really easily when swimming. We do not want to use an MP3 player with our product. In contrast, all three of these products use an MP3 player with a certain amount of storage that can only hold a certain amount of songs. Although there are all these problems, the most common issue among them is they're all poorly marketed.
As for our marketing strategies, we have come up with our three main strategies. Our first one being email blast. Through our problem interviews, we have taken down each swimmer's emails, and eventually we're going to make an email chain, basically just saying our promotions, updates about our product, and things along that line. For our social media, which is our second marketing tactic, we've already created a Facebook and Instagram page, which is kind of getting the word out that we're making a product that might interest them. In the future, we are wanting to put on ads on both our Facebook and Instagram page. In the future, we are also hoping to add Twitter and kind of just tweet about our product and our upcoming promotions. And then our last thing is we are hoping to attend swim meets along with diving meets, kind of just to get the word out that they might be interested in our product. And then for our customer segments, for our geographic, we're looking for people who are in the suburbs. We are aiming more towards people who are in the suburbs. For our demographic is on the wealthier side, just because our product is over $100. Then the psychographic is they have to like music, it's just kind of along the line. And then our last thing is we are aiming towards swimmers and divers, both competitively and casually.
Just last year, there were 354,627 competitive swimmers registered with USA Swimming. When multiplied by our unit price, $150, we get our total addressable market, $53.2 million. In all honesty, our TAM is flawed because it does not take into account the casual swimmers. Just in Illinois, there are 24,242 swimmers registered with USA Swimming. And when that's multiplied by our unit price, $150, we get our SAM, $6.2 million. If we convert 1.5% of the swimmers in Illinois, which is roughly the amount of swimmers at this school, we get our market share revenue to $45,544.
Our cost of goods sold is $54. This is split up into 3 parts. One, the $10 cost would be our patent royalty due to the bone conduction technology and how that works. $30 for the raw materials, kind of the components of the actual headphones, and then a $14 manufacturing cost. This will give us a price of $150. This is based on our competitors, and we think it's a fair price because people are paying $150 just for headphones that either work in water and or just out of water. So we think it's fair that we price at the same price to allow for both use. This gives us a gross profit margin of 64%. And we're hoping year 1 to sell around 20 units, multiply that by 150 to give us a gross profit year 1 of $3,000. Now onto our MVP. Our MVP will test 3 main parts of our business model: our customer relationships, our channels, as well as our existing alternatives. And it will come in 3 main parts. The first part is our Facebook and Instagram profiles. We'll be running ad campaigns on these, targeting swimmers in certain age ranges, in certain areas, and use that quantitative data so that we can determine a more refined customer segment. These are our Instagram and Facebook pages. They have basic information about our product and our company as a whole. And then we'll also be posting promotional material on these accounts. And if you click the link in our bio on Instagram and our Facebook, it'll take you to the next part of our MVP, which is our landing page. This is our landing page, which we created using Wix. It has some basic information about our company, as well as contact info, our UVPs, a brief explainer video kind of explaining how our product works and kind of the technology as a whole, as well as a pre-order now button. Upon clicking this, it'll take them to our pre-order page, which we created using Seller. And then, after they pre-order, we'll be taking down emails so we can update them about future plans with our product. All in all, the cost of our MVP testing will cost around $620. The first part will be a $200 explainer video, which we'll be using Upwork or Fiverr to hire a freelance video editor to create. This is because the technology is kind of hard to explain, and it's not yet mainstream, so not a lot of people really understand how it works, so we need to have a professional design a video. The next part will be the Fitness Duo. This will test the third part of our MVP, which is our existing alternatives. Using the Fitness Duo, I personally swim, so I'll be using it, and then I will learn how their product works, the drawbacks, what we want to put in our prototype and what we don't want. Then we can be able to refine our prototype and gain a better understanding of the technology as a whole. And the final piece will be Instagram and Facebook ad campaigns at $135 a piece. This will allow us to reach a broad customer base, reaching about a total of 30,000 people on both platforms. All in all, the purpose of our MVP is to test our demand and how we're going to market our product as we design a prototype for the future.
We have been BC Aquatics, and thank you for your time.
Where did BC come from?
Bone conduction.
What is
Bone conduction Aquatics.
it? Is it just 1 or 2?
It's 2 headphones.
Okay. For $150?
Yes. So that's about the price of AirPods, except with AirPods you can only use them out of water. And then with the Fitness Duo and the Becker, who are also at a similar price, you can only use them in water. So we thought that the $150 was justified because you can use them both in and out of water.
Have you looked at cost of manufacturing?
Yes. We're trying to kind of find a right manufacturer, as well as working out some of the specific components, because we're trying to figure out materials that would work in terms of the water and kind of resonating, connecting to the phone properly.
Yeah, the problem with it's kind of hard for us to find the exact cogs because it's newer technology, and it's hard to find how much the computer would cost and how much it would cost to actually create the device, because there's not many competitors. And we've actually contacted some normal out-of-the-water headphones, and they said that they couldn't disclose how much it costs to make them, but they're glad that we're joining the bone conduction wave, I guess.
Yeah. I see online that Bose has a brand that goes in the ear. Have you seen the Bose brand at all?
For swimming.
Yeah, for swimming.
Well, the difference between that is because as you're swimming throughout the water, like you're moving your head around a lot and you're breathing, and so the earbud could fall out or it could like loosen up a little bit and a bunch of water could get in your ear, kind of messing up like the sound quality. And then when you have to stop at the wall and then like get all the water out of your ear and put it back in, so it's kind of cumbersome.
Yeah. Another problem with just regular earbuds is sometimes they'll come with like a little pocket of air with like the little gummy part that goes in your ear, because the way that the sound works is it has to travel through regular air. So if water ever comes into your ear, it can block out the sound and it will make it like a poor sound quality. But with bone conduction, your ear can be open and free, and that also allows you to hear your swim coach clearly.
As they yell at you.
So this is going to cost some money. You know, if you were to launch the business, you're developing a product. It's going to take a while, and it's going to cost more money than the capital that this class will be able to provide you. So the part of your MVP should be to prove out a interesting business case that outside investors would believe in. So I like the way you structure. You're going to have an explainer video.
Yes.
And can you go back to the MVP, like where you're doing the flow? Yeah, right before there. No, okay.
That one?
No, keep going. Forward.
Oh, sorry.
And stop. Next one. Stop. So if I'm on this website and I hit pre-order, I don't know how much the product costs.
Yeah.
So
It will take you to this page. The image kind of cropped out, but there is some basic information, like kind of explaining like the price and like how we justified that.
okay, so what you probably want to do is on the pre-order slide, have the
Yeah.
price there.
Yeah.
Order now for, $150 or whatever your price is. And then see how many people click on that. Because in essence, they're saying, I would have bought it for $150.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to test. How many people would buy this for $150? And
Yeah.
how much of an interest it is. So if you go to an investor and you say, I have a bunch of people that are interested. I had 100,000 people hit my website, and 75% of them hit, watched the video, and 50% of those said I want to order it at $150. I just didn't have it. That will be more investable than I think the way you have it designed. You're close,
Yeah.
but you probably need to modify that a little bit.
Celery does take the quantitative data of how many clicks we get on that pre-order button.
Great. So they'll be able to measure that for you. But you want to have the behavior. You want to measure the behavior of the pre-order, because if you don't have the price, they pre-ordered it, and then they look at the price, they might abandon that. I'd rather it be in the beginning. And go back to
What does the Bose sell for?
$199.
Really?
Where's that?
Bose Soundwear Champion. Oh, they have something that wraps around your head
Yeah.
for $29. Then they have Bose Sports Sound. I don't know if these are underwater. They look like they are. They're like blue and yellow and like the aquatic colors.
What do you sweat?
There's a lot of these, but I think what you're saying is yours is bone.
50.
Yeah.
Distance freestyle.
So-
500.
Well, I think what sets us apart a lot is the bone conduction, and also just like the Wi-Fi, because I read an article about this startup that they were trying to do, and from what it seems it failed because they tried to do a Kickstarter and it just didn't get funding, and it was
Okay.
called SwimBuds, and they found out that like Wi-Fi works better because Bluetooth, a lot of these use MP3 players, and no one knows how to work those anymore.
Yeah.
And so Bluetooth can't penetrate water just because it's too high of a frequency, but they found out that Wi-Fi, it has a far enough range and it can preload the song enough that it won't interrupt your listening experience, and it allows you to listen to your own music.
Well, there is one, IPX8. Have you seen
Yeah.
those?
IPX8
They're
is-
with bone conduction,
Mhm.
but they are Bluetooth. Or no, they're not Bluetooth, they're MP3 player. But they sit around your head and they hit on your bone. I don't know, you're going into a field that is, there's tons of these that's competitive,
Mhm.
which I don't want you to think that this is a class in invention, like you have to come up with the next great thing. Sometimes you can build a really great business, and it's a competitive business. You just are better. But you're up against a big outlay of capital, and so, you know, I'm not sure where to go with that, except prove that people would buy your product.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to invest, you're gonna have to get a lot of investors.
Well, actually, the purpose of the MVP was, yes, to test the demand, but as we're running the MVP, we'll be designing a prototype so we can have a design ready for the final pitch. So,
Yeah, you're really early with
Yeah,
prototyping.
what it means by prototype, I think, is we've been trying to 3D print just like a general shape to see what is like the most comfortable shape, and then eventually we want to put computer like software in it, but for now, we're trying to get the general shape of it to see what people like the most.
I just don't know how that's gonna stick on anybody's ear. Like, how does it attach? The beauty of an earplug is it sticks in your ear.
Oh, well, when it has, when the goggles, it's gonna go underneath the goggles.
Oh, okay, you got a goggle
Yeah.
connection. Okay, makes sense.
I think, so the name doesn't necessarily communicate what distinguishes it. I'm your target audience for this. I can't wear earbuds because they irritate my ears. I was a high school swimmer, but I don't swim anymore because it's boring when you're an adult and you swim on your own. If I could listen to a podcast while I swim, I might actually continue swimming, right? So I think thinking about your market too, that you mentioned, okay, we're not really looking at casual swimmers, but people who swim on their own, like if you look at masters swimming clubs or something like that, that's older adults who are swimming, they're doing it typically on their own, they get together a couple times a week with their team, but a lot of times they're swimming independently. Those are the people that I think would actually buy this. When they don't have a coach, they don't have teammates that are necessarily, on their case with them. But if your name communicates that, I think that would help. I actually thought it was an aquatic center or something like that. So if you can communicate that it doesn't go in your ear, and, target a different market, that might.
Or something like cool, hipper, like,
Yeah.
Like sound rap.
Well,
Yeah.
like, or, Beats didn't, like, that's a weird name, but it worked,
Our plan, I think, is more that BC Aquatics is like the overhead like company, and then I think we're trying to make the product a better sounding name.
Yeah,
Is
work on that a little,
Yeah.
for sure.
Would the market increase with runners? Because you're not using earbuds, it seems like it provides some benefit to that market as well. Because one of the big problems for runners is that they are running and they don't hear a car or something. And if you've got this with your ears open, it provides some safety benefit to a runner. So it might provide an extra market.
What's my rule on earbuds in my class?
None.
Well, what's the looser rule? At minimum, you can have one,
One.
because you have to be able to hear
Yeah.
what's going on
So
around
there's
you.
a safety
So
benefit to
this-
the runners.
Yeah, I mean, if you can still, like you mentioned, you can listen to your coach while you're swimming. If it's that good, I think that these would be even better than.
It
Earbuds out of the
expands your
water.
market.
Yeah, and to your point with runners, I mean, a big selling feature for athletes who wear buds is they're sweat proof because they tend to fry them out.
Yeah.
So
So this wouldn't even
it's
be in your
triathletes,
ear.
it's runners,
They'd
it's
be up to
swimmers,
the
that's what I was thinking.
And the next thing we have to think about is like how to keep them on, because like he said, they're attached by goggles too, because the goggles are pressing down, so I guess yeah, for runners too.
I think for your prototyping, that's what you should work on, is the goggle, the attachment, and the plastic shape, and then worry about the guts of what's gonna go in there. That's
We
what
don't
you're
know how
gonna,
to do that.
yeah. and so-
Michael?
So that's
But you guys, hearing aids have figured this out, so
Yeah.
you guys, someone knows the answer, it's just
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys. Right, hearing aids, runners, triathletes, swimmers, they wear hearing aids, you guys can figure it out.
Do we have a number for these guys?
Go back, we're not gonna give you the money to go buy the competitor's product, and that's later, you're gonna need to have that. I don't know, the rest seems
Yeah.
reasonable, I guess.
470.
470, and if you can do the explainer video for less, that would be great.
470? All right, good job, guys.